Been working in the prison with these forensic patients who are in prison for the charges of terrorism, probably killing. It must be very daunting. I mean, you and both of you are very fragile.
At the peak of ISIS, who went into prison, and it's called the Islamist prison, and you had around 500, 600 prisoners who are between condemned and accused in extremism.
So people have ADHD, we need to take a benefit from it.
Yes.
Because to think that they're not good in education, this is not true.
Hello and very warm welcome. I'm Sohail Qureshi with my show Sharp Edge from our London studios at Quews.news. I have two remarkable ladies who have traveled from Lebanon to London, and they have inspiring tales to tell us. And I'm talking about Maya Yamout and Nancy Yamout, highly accredited professionals who have joined London life and who want to benefit the London public and the mental health with their skills, both as a psychologist and social workers. So without any further ado, very warm welcome to you, Maya.
Thank you.
And Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you. You look almost like twins, I think.
No.
And
Some slight difference.
yeah. Good. Thank you very much. So it was very nice to meet you and to have you here. And I thought it would be a good idea to see that young, inspiring people like you and coming here. So Maya, we start from you. So you are a sociologist or studied sociology and criminology.
Yes.
And you are a PhD student, and soon you will be Dr. Maya Yamout.
Yeah, I can't
excellent.
wait.
And Nancy, you are a psychologist, and you are doing your master's in Coventry University. You're also an entrepreneur, and both of you actually have done MBA, so that's great. And you're also inspired to become, just like your sister, to become a doctor, a PhD doctor in psychology. Yes. Is that right?
That's so true.
Excellent. You come from Lebanon, a beautiful country, Beirut, a beautiful city, which used to be called Paris of Asia. So I'm going to play a clip which you would like to see. Yeah. So clip 1, please.
Lebanon is a small country in the Middle East. Its location at the crossroads of the Mediterranean Sea and the Arab world has contributed to its rich history and shaped a cultural identity of unique diversity.
So, what a mercurial country you have. On one hand, it's very Western, very modern, people from all walks of life, Muslims, Sunnis and Shias, Christians,
Yes,
Druze even, and Jews, and people from all shades and colors, very modern, as we saw in this clip. And then you have terrorism, Hezbollah, fundamentalism, and how you manage this kind of a dichotomy in your society.
Or I should start. Listen, Lebanon, I love it because it's diverse. But I always look at Lebanon as a live country and moderate country, away from war, away from any militias and anything, because we deserve peace. And we deserve a better quality of life, of modern life, and to love life. The language of death is away from us, it's be far from us. And the ideology of certain people that I believe in, I respect it, but they're trying with their weapons and with their forces against us, which is us means people of Lebanon that believe in life. And we don't want war anymore and blood. I don't want my cedar tree turns to red tea from the blood. I wanted to keep it green.
Excellent. Very poetic. Thank you. Nancy, you want to add something onto that?
So the culture by itself is diverse. They're diversified. So you have people who likes to choose to have the culture of life, and other chose to have the culture of death. So they are going like both extremes. So people who chose the life, they're enjoying life, everyday mundane, and trying to survive what's happening, especially the social economics. While other people, like Hezbollah, chose the culture of death and the sacrifice, and with a certain agenda or certain identity that they took it from other countries, and especially Iran, for them to comprehend and take it, and they lost their identity as Lebanese who love life and enjoy life on daily basis.
And you mentioned that you are very diverse, right? I mean, the diversity starts from you. So your mother was a Christian, and or is a Christian, and your father, your late father, was a Muslim. Is that right?
Yeah, but we were born like more moderate, spiritual, and we're not into. They don't want to box us into religion.
So it is quite common there, because when people of different
Yeah.
shades, so you're a human being first,
And
right?
I never say my parents put me in school. They throw me to a Catholic school because the idea of a discipline and to be better education, they didn't care about which religion the school is. They say they want to see the outcome of
They
me.
want you to be a good human being with good character,
Exactly.
integrity.
Even the school is more like Muslim more than Christian. And accepting others was a force. And sometimes they use the root of to flame the other religion. They say, oh, this Sunni, this Shia, don't speak with each other. Don't say hello during the Christmas, or don't congratulate them on the New Year's Eve. After the civil war in Lebanon, they poke you with your identity and what is identity. So me and my sister, we read a beautiful book for Amin Malouf, that identity can be layers of many things. You're not only one thing. I am Muslim, I'm Christian, I'm Lebanese, I'm British, I'm international, I'm Pakistan, I'm a little bit of everything. You're beautiful thing. Even Nancy, her also experience different with my, although we share the same house, but her identity changes. And that's why every person is unique. But however, in Lebanon, they use the card of identity as a language of hate, unfortunately. And people are not aware of it, that they're falling into it.
Yeah, very nicely put. Nancy, you're a psychologist, and I'm sure that your thoughts will resonate with your sister, because we are human beings first, and we should not be pigeonholed into different categories and then be judged on that.
Yeah, that's so true. So what I want to add something about Maya was saying is abusing your identity. So you are either with us or against us. You are either this
The famous
or that.
George Bush Jr.
Yeah, so either
phrase.
Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. You're either this or either that. You're not allowed to be. You have your own thinking. You're a critical thinker. You are always oppressed, or you have this obedience that you have the obedience of your mom. Your mom has obedience to your father. Your father has obedience to the sheikh. The sheikh has obedience to the member of parliament, and the obedience goes on and on and on and on.
And Nancy, you've been a practicing psychologist, and I understand that you still have your patients and all that.
Yes.
So just tell us about your, as a professional, as a psychologist, and then both of you started an NGO. So first start from you, Nancy.
So I didn't know that I'm gonna create an NGO first, so I gave it a shot. Maya supported me, but Maya was shocked when I got my first fund. And even when I wrote my first proposal, it took me some time, but things carried on. But my sister introduced me to social work. Then I found myself to practice more therapy, like cognitive behavior therapy and so on. So this is my practice at the moment.
So did you work in a hospital or you had a private practice?
I have a private practice, but I partnered up with Dr. Wael Salemi. He's a famous psychiatrist in Lebanon. So he always, when I met him at the 4th of August explosion, unfortunately, we met and we spoke with each other. And he said, Nancy, you fit for borderline personality disorder. I said, okay. Then borderline, then bipolar, then borderline with ADHD, then ADHD, and so forth. This
but
is
you're
how
full of energy and zest. That's it.
Yeah, she's, yeah.
And so I work. I have my private clinic, but also when they have indoor patient, like we say it, inpatient. So in some cases, I go and work directly in the hospital.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you do individual therapy or it's a group therapy?
I do individual therapy and I do group therapy. Like I usually use expressive therapy, like art therapy, and more
holistic,
holistic approaches.
Yes.
So people can open up and they have their safe space for them to engage.
And Maya, although you have a sociology background, criminology background, and but you were telling me earlier that in Lebanon, sociology also kind of borders on psychology and help people to understand the human behaviors and the challenges these patients or people have.
So I did my bachelor degree in social work. Then I did my master's degree, which is also there's many courses in sociology and criminology and psychology because we are part of the society.
Yeah.
And merging with them, it balancing like with the three dimension. So how you need to understand the people. If you don't know a little bit of psychology, even the society changes. It depends when you change a policy or politics or whatsoever. And even the crime, it depends on the politics, what's going on, like war. Like that would happen with Syria. That's why we have a lot of terrorism. And even the crime changed. The behavior of the people also changed. So Nancy, she got the funding at first, and the Syrian revolution didn't start it yet back then. We were focusing about terrorism. Then
in Lebanon,
in
right?
Lebanon. And we noticing that people after the revolution of the Syria, people the poverty came more because the revolution.
That is almost 15, 18 years ago, right?
Yes,
when the first
in 2011,
issue,
in 2011. However, then we noticed that people are getting going to Syria and the bombing is happening. They have a lot of suffering PTSD. The mental health became out very boomed in a way in Lebanon. So we started
become very prevalent in the
yes,
Syria.
exactly, and we still like doing second year masters. So we the more we take courses of psychology, especially about death and dying, and PTSD and depression.
And then obviously there was the emergence of ISIS, and
exactly
it was a horrible time.
People, some of them, while we went to prison for 15 years. Some of them, when we did speak with ISIS, we did speak with Qaeda as well, and Nusra.
Yeah, because that was your main work. Because that's very impressive. So let me do this cut two. I've just done a little bit of research about you. So cut two, please.
Why you need to do all this help and psychosocial support? Let them rot in prison. So our message is working with peace, and I'm sure that since we've been working for 8 years.
شو يعني كارير كونسلينج؟ لما التلميذ بيتخرج من المدرسة مش عارف شو بده يدرس بالجامعة، أنا بساعده.
So I have selected your second clip, Maya, because in the first clip you look a bit subdued, and I thought maybe it was Nancy.
And we were exhausted, we went and we didn't know that we were gonna be filmed. We were dying. So Maya said, let's start. Start.
So you basically started an NGO or a service for people who have suffered or suffering from terrorism, and some of those people were imprisoned,
Yes.
who were kind of a proper terrorists from ISIS
They
and Al
convicted
Qaeda.
terrorism. So in 2008, Fatah Islam came, and Bashar al-Assad regime released all the Sadnaya prisoners, especially the criminal ones, especially with the psychopathy ones. I want to tell those target, not mean all the prisoners are psychopaths. No, the aggressive ones, they're being selected and told them to go to Lebanon and do terrorism, which is they did in the north of Lebanon. They killed many Lebanese soldiers while they're sleeping. It was very terrible, and Fatah al-Islam came there. Mm-hmm. So Al-Qaeda sent some troops there to be sure it was going to be Islamic State or not, but it failed after 99 days. When they being held. So in 2011 of Syria revolution, many people joined ISIS just to be against the Assad regime. And some of them, they have fundamentalist extremist thoughts. And me and my sister, where we work inside the prison, we noticed most of them, they have actually Nancy caught most of the prisoners, they have a father issues, which is Freudian, absent father syndrome, which is the major. Mm-hmm. Then the minor, it can be ADHD, it can be bipolar, it can be depression, OCD, it can go that way. But remember that even the behavior can changes and diagnose changes after 6 months. That's why the diagnosis should be between psychiatrist, psychologist, and the social workers. Those three, they need to diagnose. Yeah. It's not always, with all respect to your psychiatrist, but I think the team of medical team, they should be covered.
It's a multimodal. It is what we say MDT, multidisciplinary approach, and that is very American approach. Yeah. They do a multi-axial diagnosis. They just, as opposed to ICD-10 and 11, which is WHO diagnosis of catalog of classification of disease and disorder. Mm. So yes, you're absolutely right there. So Nancy, so you've been working in the prison with these forensic patients who are in prison for the charges of terrorism, probably killing. It must be very daunting. I mean, you and both of you are very fragile and very pleasant-looking young girls. Then, I mean, you are now as well.
Thank you.
But let me add something with what Maya was saying. We were the only two women at the peak of ISIS who went into prison, and it's called the Islamist prison. And you had around 500, 600 prisoners who are between condemned and accused in extremism, which is ISIS at its peak. And we went there. It was hard for us that prisoners accepted us, but we were so stubborn. Let me put another word, a happier word. Yeah. Persistent. Persistent. We had a persistency to go inside. So Maya started with someone, and he was a Qaeda person.
Okay.
Then the Qaeda guy, the Qaeda person, prisoner, said, I wanted to talk to Nancy. So he liked me more. So
yes, exactly. Yeah.
This is what happened. So
like a snowball.
Like a snowball. Yeah. Somebody came and talked, and somebody said, okay, they are not intelligence, they are not.
They must have a lot of trauma, as you mentioned, father or DPS complex and.
Oedipus complex. That's so true. Then after a while, you will see it's not all. Also, at that time, you were seeing the father figure that is not there. Then you will realize that the mother, if you're gonna go Freudian, the mother is always in a low position. She is not defending. She's not doing exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Electra's complex.
It's like the problem is like more patriarchal system. It's more the father and the male that should be always getting control. It's always the family dynamics should be always balanced between mother and the father, concerning the power of the children to raising up.
Yeah, we say yin and yang. Really.
Yin and yang.
As simple as
exactly.
that. It is. So that is very, very interesting kind of chapter of your life, basically. That you such a tender age or young age. I mean, you at the height of this terrible war or civil war, and working with these young testosterone-driven, psychopaths, terrorists who have killed, maimed, raped women right, left, and center. And at that time, nobody knew whether this Islamic State could infringe Lebanon and other parts of the Middle East. So weren't you terrified, Maya?
Why I'm not afraid from
Yeah,
them?
yeah.
Why I should be? But okay, every time I go to the prison, I believe if you send an energy that you're afraid from them, you won't get the real truth. It won't get the truth from them. Just be yourself, and I look at them as a human being. Despite what they have done or they want to do, I don't really care. I look at them as a human being, and they sense that. They do sense it. Of course, they test you if you're going to talk anything towards the police.
Yeah.
And the police, they want to test you if you're going to say something to them.
So you had a private conversation,
I have a
not recorded,
confidential
or
conversation, but except if like there's a big red flag, like
Something imminent.
Yeah, really, yeah. But it didn't happen to us. So, but they always test you with if you're going to say something.
But it must be quite a bit of a trauma for you also to see people meet face to face whose hands are colored in red blood of many people, right? But it doesn't really matter what trauma they had, but imagine that how some of them, and I'm not sure, they would have killed many people, very innocent people, and plundered and raped women. How did you deal with that, Nancy? Especially being a psychologist, you were much more like invasive in your therapy.
But that's ISIS guy.
Yeah.
When he,
أيوة واحد.
And
Which
he
one?
said,
He loves the smelling blood. Okay, so so before Maya and I went to inside prison, we read the book for a famous criminologist in my country. His name is Omar Nashebe. He's a criminologist, and he wrote about Rumi prison.
Okay.
So we read the book first, and when we went inside, nothing changed. It's the same book, the same thing. Even now, if you read the book and you go, nothing changed. So it's a very valuable book for us. So the book talks about the buildings, the police, how they are divided inside the prison, what language the prisoners use. So it was really helpful for us. So this is one. So when we went inside, it wasn't us to blend in quickly. It took us some time to blend inside. So this is it. So what was the question? I lost it.
how are you not afraid from them?
With such people with
trauma.
such.
Yeah, so what came to the part of rape and killing, Maya and I, we traveled twice to United States, and we took courses with the American Academy of Forensic Sciences. And those workshops were really interesting. So my workshop was about the 4 types of rapists. So I understood the rape concept. So when
There's a control.
yes. And they have mother issues. So there is the sadist, there is the passive aggressive, there is the aggressive. So you have the 4 types, and each type has something, but the 4 of them, they have a problem with the mom. So when you interview killers, and that killers is something, and killer and the raping is something else. But we are trained. We had 1,200 hours of training as a social workers, and we did 2 years therapy on ourselves back then, and we still do.
Yeah.
Before going there, for us to be, not to be biased,
Yes.
to be objective as much as possible. I know we have biases, and this is normal, but as much as possible not to be, but we're just
So be
hearing
very
a story.
professional, basically. So you trained yourself to be a professional.
So we did our homework
Yes,
to do
true.
this.
And trained yourself.
We
trained
trained
your
ourselves.
soul, basically, to...
Oh, that's
But the
correct
thing
word.
is, when you sit with them, even if he's a rapist, I'm not saying that what he did is something impressive, but you need to see why he reached this point.
Yeah.
You need to hear this, because and this is where the role of psychiatrists, social worker, and psychologists come to rehab this person not to go out and repeat this again.
Come in unison.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the stories
Yeah.
also that there is a guy, I was next to Nancy, and he told us that he joined ISIS so he can kill and smell the blood.
Simply just.
And he named them birds.
We call us birds. Every
He killed
person,
birds.
and he said, we kill birds. Kill birds. And I said, what's birds? Then he said, then we found out it was a human
What
being.
was the Arabic word or Arabic phrase?
Asafir.
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 Yeah, what did he say in Arabic?
So I was asafir. I shoot birds.
And that he was talking about human beings.
Yes.
And I told him, how many birds have you shot? He said 35. He kept account for it because
And there was no empathy.
he was a sniper.
There was no empathy at
And he's a very charming person. He fits the psychopath.
No remorse,
No
zero remorse.
Not psychopath. I was like, no, he was psychopath. He have zero remorse, and he's very charming, and he spoke why he joined. He didn't join for belief of ISIS. No. He told us that he joined so he can kill
and enjoy killing.
Well, people don't realize this, that there are about 1 to 2% of the people in the world, they have antisocial personality disorder. That means lack of regards for the social, religious, moral, ethical boundaries, with no empathy, with no regrets, callous, unemotional traits, and impervious to reasoning. And within that cohort of 1 to 2%, which is a huge number on itself, about 25% of them are psychopaths, more hardcore antisocial, with the more of these lack of regret, remorse, as we mentioned, they are psychopaths. There's a large number. And
But by the way, we need psychopaths. People think it's a bad thing. No.
we need psychopathic traits, but not psychopaths.
Yeah,
because
psychopathic
everybody's
trait, exactly.
all of us have some traits.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, the butcher who kills the
Animal,
cow
Or the
or
surgeon.
surgeon, they have a little bit, and people think it is a how you navigate your urges, right? Yeah. Maybe like as she said, like a surgeon or butcher.
They're not Dexter, but we're trying as much as possible to educate them for them to have different type of life.
That's very, very interesting. And then your life changed on 4th of August 2020.
True.
On this infamous gas explosion. Cut 3, please. I'm sorry to replay because you were a director, both of you are director affectee. So just tell, I mean, if it's okay with you, just please tell us and the audience, because that is a blast, was really shook the entire Beirut basically and shocked the world that what can happen in an accidental damage. Yeah.
5 years ago, there's a boat put some ammonium in the warehouse.
Nitrite and sodium.
Sodium
nitrite?
Sodium nitrite in the warehouse, okay? And stayed for 6 years.
There must be a huge amount.
It is a huge amount. And there is bless him, a young lieutenant sent a direct to the minister to remove it between the civilians, and ignored his knowledge and his wisdom and request. And so they want to take it and sell it to another country to bring more money. Then we found out those materials, they want to kill the Syrian people with the Bashar al-Assad regime, between Hezbollah and wherever it is. And the explosion happened by accident.
And you were directly affected.
Yes, I got affected. So at first, I was in the street. I want to get my car. the ground shook. I thought it was an earthquake. And I heard boom, boom. So the first thing you look at the sky, it's pink and it's like a mushroom. And it's like in a few seconds, I heard like the glass like tick, 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 like wave of glasses breaking,
shattering everywhere.
And suddenly a young gentleman hold me and he said, and he threw me like this and he said, the glass, be careful. Bless him, Sohail. The glass just fall into next to me, so I had few cuts and I dislocated my shoulder and fractured my foot, and I did some plastic surgery to remove some glass. Yeah. And my house, our house, the marbles of the wall went out from the pressure, and
the glass was cracking. We had the walls were like cracked.
I'm really sorry to hear that, Maya. And Nancy, where were you?
I was with my dad at home, and I thought that the explosion was next to our home, because next our home, in 50 meters, they killed a member of parliament. So it's not the first time. Yeah. So I thought the explosion was there. But
it was so huge, but it was quite far from your place, right?
Then,
no.
So Maya was out and my mom was out. And for 2 hours, we don't know anything about Maya and my mom. So it was the longest 2 hours of my life. When they came back, I was crying that they are safe.
Because the entire city or country was just paralyzed with the number of deaths, which were in hundreds, I understand.
Yes, so on TV, they said that it was in the middle of Beirut. Then it's here, then it's there. Then they killed this member of parliament, this prime minister. So every time they're saying something different. And then you see the ambulances, you hear the ambulances like so high, and people going back and forth. Then we know that the explosion happened.
Yes, something really big has happened. Yeah, really sorry to hear that. I mean, it's in a civilian times, not in war times, because something like this happening is absolutely catastrophic for a society.
You know, Sohail, I forgive the people who did that. I forgive them, but we need justice for many people who lost their souls, and we need justice. Since 2004 in Lebanon, Sohail, all the assassinations, all the bombing, we don't know who did it. We know who did it, but they always ran away from the lack of evidence. Always about lack of evidence, or the politics interferes.
Unfortunately, politics is global psychopathy, I call it.
Okay.
But you then, was that the reason that you decided to leave Lebanon and come here? Because you've been here for almost a year now, right?
1 year, yeah. Got this beautiful country. Our NGO started to struggle financially because of the war.
Yes.
And the war and the funding went to more relief and food. Yes. And our services is more rehabilitation and mental health. And it's not a priority. And I understand the funders and the donors about that. Yes. And I told myself it's time for us to develop and get more knowledge and have more connections to go back home and give my services and maybe my education to make a difference in my country. Yeah.
And then you are pursuing your PhD in Swansea.
Yeah.
And you have just finished your social work course, so you will be a licensed social worker.
Yes, at Hammersmith and Fulham Council. Bless them, they give me the opportunity to be somebody supervised me with Jeanette Breen, bless her, and they want to train me so I can practice social work, and I can't wait to give my experience to the British community.
Excellent, that's wonderful to hear that. Right, and Nancy, you followed Maya then, right?
I did. But if we want to go back a little bit about the explosion, we got a small rescue fund. Maya and I and the team of Rescue Me, we worked on a whole hospital.
Okay.
No, collapsed.
It was in
completely.
front of the port where the explosion happened. We worked on the nurses at that hospital. Me, my sister, and another lady. She's also a clinical psychotherapist. So we worked on the nurses of that, and we did group therapy for all the nurses like they were around 60 nurses. It was a lot, but we were happily giving them
Yes,
the
because
all the
you
support.
had certain skills and you need to help people to give a closure to that and
Yes.
to develop resilience to
Yes,
counter the trauma that they went through. Now this is a new country,
Yes.
and I hope you'll be here for long. And you were mentioning
Inshallah.
that both of you are very much interested in ADHD and autism. And Nancy, as a psychologist, you have some experience with that. And is that the area that you want to focus your career in?
So, like, I was always interested in divergent and everything related to the brain and neurons and neuropsychology. So, at first I was like hesitant when it comes to ADHD until the doctor that I was working with, he sent me one and another one and another. So I found out I can work with ADHD. ADHD people, people think that they are really hyper. Not all of them are hyper, and some of them are quiet, but they jump from one subject to another. They have their issues, but unfortunately, ADHD people, they don't know that they have a positive side. They can use their ADHD for their own
They channelize and sublimate their energy
True.
and into something more useful. And especially from your point of view, Maya, from a social work point of view, you can help a lot of people.
Yes,
with
there's many young people. In my experience in social work, I saw ADHD, and even in Lebanon, even among prisoners, is everywhere. Maybe every six people, like we have one ADHD.
Yeah. Or ADHD symptoms.
It's a symptom, yes,
There's a
of course.
difference between having a number of symptoms.
Yeah, the statistic is still not clear.
Yeah.
But it's very known right now, and we need to more focus about it, because people have ADHD, we need to take a benefit from it.
Yes. Because
to think that they're not good in education, this is not true.
Yeah.
Please let the parents, all those many mental health professionals, that they need to be aware that this young person, he cannot help it with his all the energy, but we can navigate his energy to make him make a difference in his community. Maybe
they can multitask.
They can multitask.
They can because of this energy, but it needs to be.
I want to tell you something. I met a beautiful supervisor, social worker. She had ADHD. She had a patient to work on me, and she had all the energy. And sometimes I tell her, "How do you get it?" She said, "I have ADHD," and I blessed her because she's very positive. And we need more people than that in our team. We don't need.
This is a neurodevelopmental. I shouldn't say issue. A neurodevelopmental. Kind of neurodiverse, or sometimes we say that, including autism. But the most important thing is that gives a uniqueness to everybody. And certain traits of the ADHD, as you rightly said, Nancy, it could be sublimated into something more positive and forceful. And because you need that kind of energy from the inertia of life to think beyond the pale of normalcy, and that. Well, excellent. So that's wonderful. So you are now looking forward to your new careers here, new life, and that's wonderful. So very warm welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bless you.
Good. So very nice to speak to you, and I hope that I wish you all the best, and I'm sure that you will join us for another conversation in our studio.
Absolutely.
We'd love that. Absolutely.
Sure. Thank you.
So, dear audience, this is an inspiring tale, an inspiring life story, an inspiring tale of two lovely young brains, professionals from Lebanon, who have come here not only to gain knowledge, skills, and education, but also to contribute to the British society. And I think it is very important to understand that all of us are human beings first, We have our unique experiences, and the multicultural and diverse society that the Britain has created, it is not only going to benefit the British people, but the world. So with that, I hope you enjoyed my program today with Maya Yamout and Nancy Yamout from Lebanon to London. And you will continue watching my program on Quews.news with the Sharp Edge tag. Please like, comment, and subscribe this channel and my programs. Until my next program, goodbye from me.